Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Have you ever thought about what it really takes to be a successful entrepreneur?
It's a question a lot of people ask.
Yeah, and today we're going to be looking at that question, not just like what's in your business plan, but we're going a little bit deeper.
Yeah, much deeper than that.
We're going to be looking at the social power dynamics
That's right.
and how they can really make or break an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And we'll be looking at some fascinating research from a Guinness,
A Guinness.
like the beer.
Okay.
A Guinness and his colleagues published this research in management research back in 2008.
Okay.
And it's a fascinating look at what they call social power.
Okay, so I think we all have that image of this stereotypical entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the Steve Jobs or Elon Musk,
Right.
driven, brilliant, maybe a little intimidating.
Yeah, there's this idea that you have to be a little bit ruthless to make it to the top.
Right.
But this research suggests something a little more nuanced.
Okay, so tell me more about this social power.
Well, they examined 7 different types of social power.
Oh?
And this is basically how people influence others.
Okay.
So you have like the classic reward power.
Okay, so like bonuses, promotions.
Yeah, they think about giving people something desirable.
Okay.
Then there's coercive power, like punishing or penalizing.
So like keeping everyone in line.
Yeah, you might think those would be key for like a, hard-charging entrepreneur.
I would think so, especially coercive power.
But you would think wrong.
Okay.
Successful entrepreneurs actually scored lower on coercive power.
Really?
So being able to crack the whip doesn't necessarily translate to entrepreneurial success.
Wow. So that's really interesting. So if it's not about ruling with an iron fist, what does set apart those entrepreneurs who really soar?
Well, the study found a strong link between success and 5 other types of power.
Okay.
Expert power, referent power, information power, reward power, and connection power.
Okay, that is a lot to unpack there.
It is a lot.
So let's break this down a little bit, starting with expert power.
Yeah.
What does that mean in the world of entrepreneurship?
Well, just think about someone you consider a true expert in their field.
Oh.
They have the knowledge, they have the experience, they're the go-to person.
Right.
And for entrepreneurs, that credibility is gold.
Right, because you're asking people to trust you with their time, maybe their money,
Absolutely.
their careers potential.
You need to show you know your stuff.
Exactly.
But it's not just about being like a walking encyclopedia.
Right.
Entrepreneurs also need something called referent power.
Okay, what is that?
This is the magnetism that makes people want to follow your lead.
Okay.
Think about someone like Oprah.
Yeah.
People are drawn to her. They trust her recommendations. They believe in her vision.
So it's not just about what you know. It's about how people feel about you,
That's a great way to put it.
how much they respect you and trust you.
Yeah, and those two are often intertwined, When you have genuine expertise and people recognize your passion and integrity, that's a really powerful combo.
It really is. It makes me rethink that stereotype of the lone wolf entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like building those connections and trust is absolutely crucial.
It is, and that brings us to the other power bases highlighted in the study. Information power, reward power, and connection power. It's all about leveraging these social dynamics.
All right, well, let's dive into those then.
Sounds good. Let's start with information power. This is about keeping your finger on the pulse. It's about knowing what's going on in your industry, understanding the trends, the competition, the challenges,
Okay.
and it's about sharing those insights strategically, building that credibility.
So it's not just about like hoarding all that information.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about being like an entrepreneurial dragon guarding their treasure.
Right.
It's about using it to empower your team, to attract investors,
Okay.
even forge some partnerships with your competitors.
Interesting.
It's currency
Okay.
that can help you build trust and momentum.
It makes me think about how information flows within a company.
Right.
A leader who is willing to share that knowledge creates a more dynamic and engaged team.
Absolutely. And speaking of building relationships, the study also highlights the importance of connection power.
Okay, so break that down for me. What is connection power?
It's all about having that network, the people you can rely on,
Okay.
mentors, advisors, suppliers, clients,
Great.
even competitors that you can collaborate with.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs are constantly navigating this really complex web of relationships.
Right.
And those who can really tap into the right connections at the right time, that's a huge advantage.
Almost like a secret weapon.
It is.
Knowing who to call when you need advice, funding,
Yeah.
a different perspective.
Exactly. But building those connections, it takes time.
Right.
It takes effort.
Yeah.
And it takes genuine relationship building skills.
Right. It's not just about going to a networking event and collecting business cards.
It's not. It's about fostering real, authentic relationships.
Right.
Based on mutual respect and shared goals.
That makes a lot of sense. And it brings us back to that referent power we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
People are more likely to want to help you if they like you and respect you.
Absolutely.
And that kind of trust and goodwill can be so invaluable when you're just starting out.
Especially in those early stages.
Right.
It can make or break you.
Okay, so this is all making me think about reward power now.
Okay.
Is it just about like handing out bonuses and, those kinds of perks? Or is there more to it?
It's definitely more nuanced than just like throwing money at the problem.
Okay.
Reward power, when used effectively, is about recognizing and valuing what your team does.
Great.
It's about creating a culture of appreciation.
Right.
Where people feel seen
Oh.
and they feel motivated to go above and beyond because they know their efforts will be acknowledged and rewarded.
So it's not just about like tangible rewards.
Right.
It's about creating that environment where people feel valued and appreciated.
Exactly. And that is essential for fostering that creativity, the innovation, the sense of ownership
Right.
in the success of the venture.
Okay, so we've talked about expert, referent, information, connection, and reward power.
Mm-hmm.
What about coercive power? The one that research showed was actually negatively correlated.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, imagine working for a boss who constantly used threats and punishments to get things done.
Okay.
Would you feel motivated to give them your best ideas?
Probably not. I would be like walking on eggshells all the time,
Exactly.
afraid to make a mistake.
That kind of fear-based environment, it stifles creativity.
Yeah.
It stifles innovation.
Yeah.
And it can lead to resentment and disengagement.
Right.
And that's the last thing an entrepreneur needs.
Totally. So it seems like successful entrepreneurship is less about wielding that power over people and more about empowering them.
Precisely. It's about fostering a culture of collaboration, trust, shared ownership.
Okay.
Where everyone feels valued and they feel empowered to contribute.
I like that a lot. And that brings us to another interesting finding in the research: the role of gender dynamics in the perception of success.
Oh.
Yeah. The study found that male entrepreneurs were more often perceived as successful.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's a complicated issue, and it's important to, approach it with sensitivity.
Yeah.
The study doesn't say exactly why this perception exists.
Right.
But it raises some important questions about those potential unconscious biases.
Right.
Are we as a society quicker to, associate those traits like assertiveness and risk-taking with success when they're displayed by a man?
Yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, it is.
Especially for those of us who are in that world. If we're unconsciously favoring certain types of leaders based on their gender,
Right.
we're missing out on a huge pool of talent and potential.
We are, and that's why it's so crucial to be mindful of those biases and, actively work to create a more level playing field.
Exactly.
So that means supporting female entrepreneurs, amplifying their voices, challenging those outdated stereotypes, and making sure that opportunities for funding, mentorship, recognition are equally accessible.
It sounds like what Guinness and his colleagues are really highlighting is this need to move beyond those traditional views of what an entrepreneur should look like.
Absolutely. Their research suggests that success in entrepreneurship isn't about fitting into that mold.
Right.
It's about cultivating that unique blend
Yeah.
of social power that aligns with your strength and values.
So for all the aspiring entrepreneurs listening,
Yeah.
if you're wondering how to develop these different types of power, where do you even begin?
Well, the good news is, these aren't innate qualities.
Okay.
They're skills you can learn
Right.
to boost your expert power, focus on continuous learning, find a mentor,
Okay.
share your knowledge.
What about referent power?
Authenticity is key.
Okay.
Let your passion shine through. Treat everyone with respect.
Oh, okay. What about information power?
Stay curious.
What?
Read those industry publications. Go to conferences. Network with people outside your circle.
Okay. And share that knowledge.
Exactly.
Right. Connection power.
Yeah.
How can entrepreneurs build that network?
Be genuinely interested in other people.
Okay.
Ask them questions. Listen to them. Look for ways that you can add value to their lives.
Okay.
It's about fostering those mutually beneficial relationships.
And lastly, reward power.
Be intentional about recognizing the contributions of your team.
Okay.
Offer sincere praise. Create opportunities for growth.
Okay.
Foster a culture where everyone feels valued.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the power of successful entrepreneurs, It seems like the key takeaway is that it's not about being the loudest voice in the room
No.
or, ruling with that iron fist.
Right.
It's about building those connections,
Yeah.
fostering trust, and empowering those around you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. By understanding and cultivating these types of social power, entrepreneurs can really create this positive influence that goes way beyond their own ventures.
So as you embark on your own journey, remember that success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about how you achieve it.
Absolutely.
And the relationships you build are just as important as the products you create.
Totally.
Until next time, keep diving deep.